Now I'm going to do a very basic introduction to the Bible. Now the Bible is so at least for our context, the Bible is the sacred scriptures, okay, for Christianity. Okay, the word Bible comes from the Greek word ta biblia, excuse me, and it means books. Okay, I want to note the plural. And so the Bible is not a single book with chapters. Okay, rather you can think of it more as a library of writings or a collection of writings. Now, the Bible is divided into two parts. You have what's called the Old Testament, and then you have the New Testament. The Old Testament is also known as the Jewish Bible. Some people call it the Hebrew Bible. Either name's fine. And so this part of the Bible, the Old Testament, Christians and Jews share this part of the Bible. So for the Jews, it's simply the Jewish Bible. For Christians, it's the Old Testament. The New Testament is the specifically Christian part of this of the Bible, and the focus is on the man Jesus Christ and his disciples. Now, the Old Testament has 46 books. Okay, and this number pertains to the Catholic tradition. So in Catholic Bibles, you see 46 books in the Old Testament. In Jewish Bibles and in Protestants, so Protestants are Christians who broke away from the Roman Catholic Church. Okay, so the Jewish Bible is 39 books, and so the Protestant Old Testament, which follows the Jewish Bible, is also 39 books. Now, the Old Testament writings can be divided into 4 different categories. So you have the first and the most central category called the Pentateuch, and these are the first 5 books in the Bible, and they're the ones that get the entire story of the Bible going. So they're very important and they're very central. Now, another category of books are the historical books. And in these books, you see the unfolding story of ancient Israel. Okay, and its relationship with God. Okay, Then you have two other categories. You have the category known as the prophets, and so these are collections of writings that reflect the thoughts and the speeches and the narratives of certain prophets. And then you have another category of books called the wisdom books. And these here are different writings that include things like songs, poetry, just wisdom, advice, and different sort of lessons. And there are different genres here. So different, you might have something that's something like a novella, which is trying to get across a certain lesson, wisdom lesson. Or you might have the book of Psalms, which is an example of a book that's full of songs. So that's the four-part breakdown of the Old Testament. The New Testament is composed of 27 books. So the New Testament canon is 27 books. Excuse me, that's 7. So you have 4 Gospels. And Gospels are the writings in the New Testament that detail or relate the life of Christ. So while all the books in the New Testament are centered around Christ in some way, the Gospels tell us about the life of Christ in various ways. Then you have a book known as Acts of the Apostles. And this one is something of a history of the earliest disciples of Jesus. Then you have 13 letters from a man named Paul. So there are questions about which of these letters are authentic. Some are not necessarily considered to be written directly by Paul, but perhaps written by someone who was close to Paul or someone who is in his general school of thought. But they're generally attributed to Paul, so we'll leave it at that. There's 13 of these, and these are literally letters. So letters that Paul wrote to different people, and they were collected over time and preserved. And then there is a book in the New Testament called the To the Hebrews. No one really knows who wrote this. It has characteristics of being perhaps a sermon or homily, and also it also ends like a letter. So it's really hard to classify it. So you have that, so it's a sort of standalone thing. And then you have what we call 7 Catholic letters. And in this case, Catholic just means universal. So they were written to the general universal body of Christians, to every Christian out there. As opposed to Paul's letters were directed to either people or communities. So the 7 Catholic letters written by different people at different times to Christians everywhere in general. So that's why we call them Catholic. And then there's the last book, which is the Apocalypse of John, sometimes known as the Book of Revelation. And again, this is a standalone book, and it's a book that has a lot of things. It talks about a lot of the future and the urgency of Jesus' second coming. Has a lot of very symbolic imagery. It's a very interesting book. Someone has, once told me it's been the inspiration for a lot of art, music, poetry, including death metal. So it has very, very interesting, vibrant imagery. So these are the categories or books that make up the New Testament.